You spent a month in Rome?
Yeah, I did.
Sounds wonderful. What was it like?
Hot.
Yeah.
Very, very hot. The first thing they advised, the people running this institute advised us to do, was to blend in, because, you know, tourists are more likely to get targeted for pickpockets, and also, you know, the people trying to get money out of you. So what I would do is, so what I did the first day or so is I started doing research about what they wore over in Italy. And the websites I looked at told me that they wear jeans even in the dead of summer. Boy, could they have not have been more wrong. So it was like...
So much for blending in.
So much for blending in. Well, yeah, you see this pasty, red-headed guy just sweating bullets all the time. It kind of kills the illusion that, yes, I am, in fact, from Italy.
But you were there with a group, and tell us what you were doing.
We were touring the sites, seeing all the big, famous, ancient things that you think about when you hear of Rome. You think of the Colosseum, ancient Rome, stuff like that. And we were learning, my colleagues and I were learning how to incorporate that into our curriculum. So, for example, say you have a 6th grade teacher who is suddenly assigned to do an assignment on teaching the history of ancient Rome, 6th grade history teacher, but they don't know how to do it. Our institute, if they had gone to that, would have been able to show them many ways on how to do that, and also given them a lesson plan which they could have used in their classes, because the goal of this institute was for each of us to produce our own lesson plan to take back home to our students.
And what grade are you planning to teach, hoping to teach?
I would like to teach collegiate level. I respect people who teach middle school and high school, but they're too rambunctious for me. I also have my subject matter, the stuff I'm interested in, which is the science of language, is not necessarily taught in the K through 12 education system here in America.
So you're working on completing your education.
Mm-hmm.
What's the timeline on that, do you think?
I'd say within the next 5 years I'll probably have my PhD. That's being hopeful. Mm-hmm. I do want my PhD because I do like that alphabet soup in front of my name. But yeah. And
so you're interested and have studied classics?
Yes.
And language, it sounds like.
Yeah. When I was an undergrad, I took a great interest in classics. You know, works like the Iliad of Homer, the Odyssey, the Aeneid, and the Metamorphoses of Ovid. These are all these are the big players of the Kevin Durant of classical literature. The Kevin Durant, Russell Westbrook. I don't know the other 2 players who are analogs for them. Classics
got a hold of you.
Yes.
And you thought, this is something I'm very interested in.
I am very interested in it. I'm so interested in it because of how they've influenced our society and our language. For example, you can't say the word Achilles heel without remembering the story of Achilles and how he was killed just by getting an arrow in the heel. Likewise, you have to pay the ferryman. That's a reference to classical myth as well. There are all these references in Western society, American, British society, that are just strewn in there very subtly, but they are there. And that's why I was interested in it, because it makes up the fabric of me, even though I didn't think about it making up the fabric of me.
And this institute was connecting that ancient Rome to modern.
And I think that was one of the most important things about it, because this institute takes this really almost strange and Roman holiday-esque thing. You get this idea of Audrey Hepburn and Gregory Peck over there, just, you know, being cutesy and romantic. And it doesn't seem like it's real. It seems fake, fictional, fantastic. But you go over there with this institute, and they show you the brick and mortar things. And you get to realize that this history actually happened, and it is a part of you.
And how did you get to participate in this?
I was recommended to it by Dr. Sheetswin and another professor, Dr. Susan Spencer, and I wrote probably one of the best application essays of my life and explained why I was the best candidate for this position. But the only reason my application essay actually worked is because I worked my tail off in undergrad. And I think that's one of the most important things about it. This institute, it's got a very selective criteria, but the reason it's so selective is because the opportunities it offers are some of the best. They're life-changing. You don't get this. This doesn't happen every day.
And it sounds like it's something you will be able to draw on for a long time.
Oh yeah. I always love having new stories to tell people and things to talk about. And this institute has done that for me. So, And even beyond that, just the things I learned from my colleagues, like how to teach better, and how to make lesson plans and all sorts of stuff like that, are going to stick with me until I retire. And those will be probably the most useful things I pulled out of it.